Hi everyone. Today we want to present about community health indicator. Community health indicator. Health indicator is a variable susceptible to direct measurement that reflects the state of health of person in the community. Use of health indicator. The first one, used in public health to drive decisions making for health. The second one, to improve health of the population and reduce unjust and preventable inequality. And the third one, other use of health indicator, example, descriptive, forecast, or prognosis, and something like that. The next slide about characteristics. The first one, validities. The second one, the sensitivity. The third one, specificity. And the next, reliability. And the last one, up to date. And the next slide about the quality of the data. Following this slide, specificity, sensitivity, measurability, policy, relevance, cost effectiveness. Communities health indicator. This is type of communities health indicator. The first one, socio-demographic characteristics. Identify which population within the trouble, how much and how serious the problem is. The second one, quality of life. This makes it possible to predict the situation that people in the community will be safe from a disease that is problem of the community or not, and it is likely to develop various diseases in the future or not. And the last one, health risk factor, to tell the magnitude of the severity of the problem occurring in the community, which will reflect the quality of the people public health. Also, in the medical service and advanced in the medical science and public health. The next slide, health indicator. It have two types. The first one, positive health indicator. When they have a direct relationship with healthness, the higher the indicator value, the better the state of health of the people in the population being studied. Example, the population of vaccine coverage. And next, negative health indicator. When they have an adverse relationship with healthness, the higher indicator value worse in the state of health of the people in the population being studied. Example, infant mobility rate. And next slide, study of the quality of disease in the community. The next slide about rate. Comparison between two data value where the numerator will be part of denominator. I'm sorry. Following this this formula, rate equal A cross K divided by A plus B. K is contrast may have 100, 1000 and something like that. The next, ratio comparison between two data value where the numerator will not be part of the denominator. Following this formula. And next slide, proportion. The comparison of a part to the whole is either type of ratio in which the numerator is included in the denominator. Following this formula. We move to communicate health indicator in epidemiology. The first one, measure of mobility, new patient indicator, and all patient indicator. New patient indicator, overall attack rate. Is it the total number of the new cases divided by the total population following this formula? Food specific attack rate. The number of persons who act a specific food and become ill. Total number of persons who act that food course 100. Primary attack rate. The number of primary patients divided by the number of people who are at risk of become ill. Course 100. Secondary attack rate, number of cases occurred from contacts or primary case divided by total number of contacts or primary case, cause 100. Person count rate, number of cases of disease or injury during specific period divided by time as person were observed. Total for all person, code 10n. Incident rates, number of new cases of disease or injury during specified periods divided by total number of people who are at risk of the becoming ill at that period. Cross K is contents may have 100, 1000. Benefits. The first, tell the event and the characteristics of the severity of disease in the community. The second, tell the course of disease. The third, tell the risk of the person in the community that have changed to become ill in that specific period. The last one, assessing disease, control the prevention operation. Prevalent rates or new SP existing case during a given time period divided by population during the same time period. Cross K is contains might have 100 and 1000. Benefits is tell the status and problem of disease in the community at the time. The second one, tell the prevalence of the disease to access economic problem. The last one, add a guideline for public health about disease control and prevention.
Relationship between prevent and incident. Prevent equal incident course, duration of the disease.
Okay, the next is measure of mortality. Divide to the three types. One is the crude death rate, and the second is specific death rate, and the third is standardized or adjusted mortality rate. Crude death rate, the number of deaths occurring among the population of a given geographical area during a given year. 1 to K is constant number. K may be 100, 1000, or 10,000. Divide to total population of a given geographical area during the same year. Next. The specific death rate have a main type. The first is the age specific death rate. Next slide. The age specific death rate is the number of the death in that group times to the constant number divided to the number of the person in that age group in the population. And the second is cause-specific death rate. The number of deaths attributed to specific cause and to constant number divided to the size of population at the midpoint of the time period. The sex-specific death rate. The number of deaths in male or female time to a constant number divided to the size of the population, male or female at the midpoint of the time period. The patient death rate, number of the death in specific disease at and time to the constant number divides the total patient with that disease in that time. The maternal mortality rate, the number of the death while pregnant or giving birth time to constant number divided to the number of live birth during the same time period. The fetal mortality rate, a number of residents fetal death time to the 1,000 divided the number of resident live birth plus number of resident fetal death. Year of potential life loss YPPL. YPPL is calculated by subtracting the age and date from the standard year. Example, if you are 20 years old, right, the standard of YPPL is the 75, and then you make 75 minus 20 equal to 55. This is a YPPL, and you did before the standard of the YPPL. Next slide. Life table. Life table is a numerical table that describes the nature of the death in the form of probability of survival during the specific period, or it can be said that is the mortality and survival statistic of the population at different age. The second is life expectancy. It is defined as the average number of the year an individual for a given age is expected to live if the current mortality rate continue. The standardized or adjust mortality rate can be divided to 4 groups: direct method, indirect method, fertility health, disability health, index, and birth of disease. The first is direct method. The find standard population, find the number of new deaths. To get the adjust mortality rates, divide the total number of expected deaths by the standard population. Conclude by comparing the age standardized mortality rate of two populations. Indirect method, define mortality rate in standard population by age group. Use study population age distribution to find expected. Compare the total expected to actual date, where the SMR equal to actual date divided to expected. Fertility health index, crude birth rate, number of live birth during a specific time interval time to 100 divided to mid interval population. Fertility health index, general fertility rate, number of live birth during a specific time interval time to 100 divided to number of women aged 15 to 49 years at mid interval. Fertility health index, age specific fertility rate or age specific birth rate, number of live birth during specific mother age time to 100 divided to mid interval female same as group, same age group. Fertility health index, total fertility rate and birth control rate. Total fertility rate is total of fertility rate in 15 to 45 years, and birth control rate percent of female age 15 years to 45 years that married and using one of method of contraception. Thank you. Thank you.